Hello, my name is Susanne Guth-Orlowski and I had the honor to be the lead author of Recommendation 49. This recommendation passed the CEFACT Plenary on July 3rd, 2025, and in this video I'm explaining the main content and the main principles of Recommendation 49. The main purpose of Recommendation 49 is to give guidance to national and regional policymakers on principles for action to make a positive contribution to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, especially 12, responsible consumption and production. The four main purposes identified of Recommendation 49 are: establish trust in supply chain data or sustainability information, reduce cost and complexity for supply chain actors, support small and medium enterprises and actors from low-income countries, and especially drawing a vision where sustainable behavior is the norm. In scope of Recommendation 49 is the exchange of product sustainability information at all levels in a value chain and in all product segments. Transparency at scale means that it has to work across different jurisdictions, industries, and product segments to reach sustainability objectives. In scope is also value chain traceability. That means enabling tracking and tracing of products, components, and processes along the value chain to support sustainability claims and disclosures. In scope is trust in sustainability information, especially increasing the trustworthiness of digital electronic claims and disclosures. Another important aspect is data sovereignty, meaning that the product, facility, and company information remains under the control of the value chain actors that are owners of this information. Important in global value chains is ad hoc data discovery, so facilitating the ad hoc discovery of product and company sustainability information related to claims and disclosures, even if those parties had never been in business before. Finally, with all that sustainability information, the circular economy model shall be supported by exchanging material and product data to enable, for example, also the R strategies: recycle, repurpose, refurbish, and so on. The technical scope of Recommendation 49 is depicted in this diagram. Let's start at the production stages, the life cycle. The scope, in scope, is the entire life cycle of a product, from raw materials, over processing materials, component production, assembly of those components, the market placement, but it doesn't stop there. It looks at the use and also the repair, remanufacture, refurbish, recycle, all the R strategies for this circular economy. Now, we're looking at the actors that are responsible for those phases in the value chain. Those are the main issuers of information about products, but also facilities. The raw material producer, for example, makes claims and disclosures about the product, how it's been produced, under which circumstances, about the facilities where it is produced. And this is true for the entire value chain. And all this information exchange is in scope of Recommendation 49. Of course, when the product is placed on the market, we are also looking at concepts such as the digital product passport that includes all relevant data to achieve a circular economy and a more sustainable use of resources. And from there, we also want to link to information from the upper supply chain, for example. Additionally, the authorities that issue trustworthy information about a product or a facility that are not the manufacturer and not the supply chain actor are also included in the picture. For example, we need authorities to issue identities for companies that are involved in the supply chain. You probably know that there will be business wallets, and in the EU we will be having the European digital identity wallets for humans, but also for companies that issue trustworthy identity anchors so that we can also identify where the information comes from. Additionally, we have more authorities, such as conformity assessment bodies issuing conformity attestations. We have competent authorities, such as governments that issue permits and licenses, such as mining licenses and mining permits. We have auditors that issue due diligence reports, and scheme owners that produce those standards and criteria that is being audited against. Finally, at the very bottom, we have to look at the processes that are happening along the supply chain and collect traceability information about those, such as shipment information, transformation events, and so forth, which are also relevant for the supply chain and for the product manufacturing circumstances, and that also increase trust in that product information. Out of scope of recommendation 49 are those particular topics. We do not look at specific data carriers. Within scope is to allow the usage of any relevant data carrier scheme. Out of scope is the hardware development, software development, data backup and storage, and vocabularies that are sector specific. In recommendation 49 and the United Nations Transparency Protocol, we only look at basic vocabulary to achieve some level of interoperability. The direct benefits of recommendation 49 is that we believe that trustworthy information can be changed when following the principles. It directly increases the verifiability of claims and disclosures by adding reliable and verifiable evidence. For example, verify the integrity of an information, the provenance, and the legitimacy of claims, disclosures, and traceability information. And the entities making or supporting them, and also verify the issuer's authorization and accreditation. Direct benefits are also that reporting efforts can be streamlined by digitizing sustainability information and reporting processes. Finally, one of the direct benefits is to ensure data sovereignty. Indirect benefits can be the following, but are not limited to: increase customer trust in sustainability information, to achieve accountability and oversight of products, information, general development of sustainability, and the achievement of our sustainability goals, giving product market access, enforcing trade policies, increasing the value of sustainable products, where people want to also are ready to give more money for a sustainable product, or to spend more on a sustainable product. It can enable risk management. It is an instrument for finance and insurance companies and allows companies to get access to those instruments. And it has the potential to establish accepted sustainable business practices. It also establishes reliability for non-financial reporting. It allows due diligence enforcement. It has the potential to counterfeit, to detect counterfeit products and recalls. It allows for innovation and new business opportunities. It has the potential to operational efficiency and the real-time access for data. And of course, last but not least, it also can expose discrepancies to workers, trade unions, and the civil society. Coming to the main 4 recommendations, those are, first of all, as its target to policymakers, Policymakers should develop a national policy for transparency at scale that aligns with risk-based due diligence for responsible business conduct. Policymakers should prioritize value chains where the largest impact on sustainability can be expected. Second, supporting instruments shall be implemented for the national policy on transparency at scale that address the challenges identified in Recommendation 49 and that follow its design principles. Third, government services shall be developed in support of national policy for transparency at scale that are internationally trusted and can issue, for example, certificates of origin, compliance certificates, identification certificates, and so forth, which we saw earlier from the authorities. And of course, policymakers should also promote the uptake of the national policy for transparency at scale by engaging with experts, drive the adoption of supporting instruments, and help establish in sustainability information, help establish trust in sustainability information. Recommendation 49 includes 7 general design principles. Please see the full document for details. The 7 implementation or design principles are architecture concepts that have to be adhered to, interoperability by design. It should include trust and conformity tools. It should allow for security and also business information confidentiality. It should follow the business incentives that have been defined and the measures for adoption. And of course, it needs to include a complete governance to drive the implementation of the supporting instrument. One of the instruments, supporting instruments that are implementing the principles of Recommendation 49 is the United Nations Transparency Protocol. You can see there's already a website available. It has been developed through the last years. A lot of the concepts are already available, such as product passports, conformity credentials, and other parts of the architecture and concepts. So please look it up. It's very easy to participate. You simply have to sign up to the Slack channel, or you can easily also contribute by using GitLab or GitHub. And please get in touch if you want to participate and you don't find the access to this community. The UNTP has already many registrations and collaborations, for example, with the companies and institutions that are named on the slide: Standards Australia and the International Account Council, the Australian Certification Authority for Reinforcing and Structural Steel, Food Agility CRC, 16 software implementers was the last status, the Responsible Business Alliance, the Global Battery Alliance, British Columbia government. There is an informal liaison with the European Commission to align with their digital product passport concepts and implementations. IRMA, Catena X towards sustainable mining, the Copper Mark, and I also believe the Copper Association. And therefore you see the big support of Recommendation 49 and UNTP. If you're not following us or participating today, please start participate to support this wonderful initiative. Thank you.